Hi there, me again. Again, it's been a while, sorry about that. It's been crazy busy. Got to speak at the Mind, Body and Spirit Festival in Brisbane. That was awesome a couple of weeks ago. And I've got Melbourne and Sydney Mind, Body and Festivals in June of this year, which is awesome. But what I want to talk about is cancer and why. Well, apart from the breast cancer that I've had and the skin cancer, melanoma stage 2, and the cervical cancer when I was about 22, when I was 14 years old and I'd already been diagnosed with Crohn's disease for about a year, the men in the white coats sat me down and said, right, you do understand that there is a possibility you could get colon cancer. So in order to avoid this, what could be good is the removal of your bowel, or perhaps, partial removal. But yes, probably the complete removal would be a very good thing. I didn't agree. Even though I was 14, I thought, nah, they've already taken out quite a large amount. So I thought, no, that's not going to happen. So I kind of backed off. But why am I telling you about this? Well, I read stuff every day, and some more research has come my way that actually came about in 2011, and it's about cancer. And the thing that I found interesting on this particular piece, this particular document, was, I bash on about the immune system. Well, you would do if you watched any of my bletherings. Well, one thing that tends to happen is, as I said before, when the immune system is compromised, it's usually because the body's doing something else. So that's a cause of the environments, and whether it's food or drink, if you've had any toxicity put into your body or inhaled or injected toxic elements, or what you're thinking about, how you're feeling, whether you're responding to your lifestyle with stress or busy or angry or anxious and all these sorts of things. I'm going to read parts of this out to you because I wouldn't be able to remember it all, and I might as well say what it says. So this is about an Italian doctor by the name of Dr. Tullio Simoncini or Simoncini. And he's got some fantastic information about cancer. Now, obviously, this isn't just bowel cancer. This is all cancer. I'm just talking to you about bowel cancer because that's where I'm coming from. So, Simoncini has discovered that cancer is a fungus, which a lot of other people like Philip Day of Credence Health, fantastic stuff, and many others understand that cancer is systemic. Right. So, Simoncini, I'm going to call him Simoncini, it sounds good, has discovered that cancer is a fungus caused by Candida, a yeast-like organism that lives in the body in small amounts, even in healthy people. The immune system keeps it under control normally, but when the Candida morphs into a powerful fungus, some serious health problems can follow, including cancer. So how could that be allowed? How could the imbalance occur? Number one, the fungus loves sugar and all types of sugar. So that's all your breads, your sugars, your all of the Ozies. And normally it's fine to eat all those things. But if your body is in this fight or flight situation, then it's not going to be paying attention to anything that's, growing in the corner. Okay, so this is the quoted piece. Fungus and Candida in particular thrive by eating the body of its host, yours, by dissolving it. It also needs your body to breed, as it cannot do this on its own. No wonder in chronic fatigue conditions, which can in many cases be attributed to the Candida colonization, the sufferer feels so bad both physically and psychologically. One other trait of Crohn's disease, the symptoms that somebody went and named, is a lot of lethargy. Now that can often be due to not having enough water content in your body. and because that being dehydrated lowers down your blood pressure, because your body thinks, oh gosh, I haven't got any water, I'm just going to have to drop everything down a bit, slow everything down, so your blood pressure drops and you become more lethargic. So that's one reason why you might feel lethargy. But another reason is quite obvious here, with the fact that candida in the body can proliferate, and it's taking up energy, etc. So talking on. So this doctor says that cancer is this candida fungal infection, and that conventional medical explanation of cancer as cellular malfunction is plain wrong. That sounded really good English. So Candida Simoncini is a specialist in oncology, treatment of tumours, diabetes and metabolic disorders. But he is more than that. He's a real doctor who seeks to uncover the truth for the benefit of his patients and refuses to parrot the official version of what doctors should do and think as dictated by huge and influential drug companies. Just done a piece on that on my website. Go check it out, www.kitcampbell.com. I went off like a frog in a sock, but that just happens. So I'm going to post this up on my website because it's loads, but I'm just going to bring it down to his realization on this. Simoncini realized that all cancers acted in the same way no matter where they were in the body or what form they took. There had to be a common denominator. He also observed that the cancer lumps were always white. Now, there's a comment here that says, what else is white? And the answer is candida. I don't know that one can draw the parallel just because they're the same colour, but I'm just going to tell you that's also in this article. Dr. Simoncini realised that what mainstream medicine believed to be cell growth going wild, i.e. the cancerous growth, is actually the immune system producing cells to defend the body from the candida attack. He says the sequence goes like this. Candida is normally kept under control by the immune system, but when that becomes undermined and weakened, the candida can expand and build a colony. The candida eventually penetrates an organ, and the immune system has to respond to the threat in another way. This way is to build a defensive barrier with its own cells, and this growth is what we call cancer. It is said that the spreading of cancer to other parts of the body is caused by malignant cells escaping from their origin. Simoncini, however, says this is not the case at all. The spread of cancer is triggered by the real cause of cancer, the Candida fungus, escaping from the original source. This makes perfect sense, because understanding that we're made up of 75 to 100 trillion cells, okay? And apparently there is 1 to 3 or 1 to 10. There's been some differing in some of the research I've done, different figures there. But basically there are more bacterial cells that we have in and around our body and on our body than human cells. So we could be 10 kilos of bacteria. So one isn't overweight, one's just carrying a load of bacteria. Okay, jokes aside, there has to be a delicate balance in everything, in this world, in the ecosystem, everything, including us. So when something goes out of balance, if we aren't able to deal with that out of balance situation because we're preferentially sending blood to the fight or flight mechanism due to the fact our lifestyle or our mind is keeping us in this sort of either anxious, angry, busy, irritated, worried, whatever way of thinking, then these things can just carry on. So it kind of makes sense. Now, this is not my research. I haven't studied this. I'm just saying this is what is out there. And it just makes a whole load of sense. Then the conversation moves on to a little bit about the industry, the medical industry and the pharmaceutical industry. It is not in their interest to do any research in this area. And this brings up another pet bugbear with me, is that don't blindly give to all the non-profit and charitable organizations out there. Some have got definitely money interests behind them, including being a front perhaps for pharmaceutical industries. So they put up these organizations, they take the money, and it gives them money to do more and more research. Now, if you believe that all these things like Crohn's disease and other 97% of diseases that have been named and out there, that somebody's going to find a miracle cure and pop a pill, well, okay. But in my understanding, and obviously in this guy's, where he's also got some fantastic results of people who have cleared their cancers, it's not true. And it's basically, something's got to change here, guys. You can't just blatantly trust them all out there. You can't just blatantly trust a man in a white coat or a woman with glasses and a beard, not a woman, and because they've been to medical school or they've become a specialist in something. All they are just people who've studied stuff and can regurgitate it to you and recall it when listening to your symptoms. Oh, you have such and such and such. Here's something that can solve it. They don't have time to ask you, what is going on in your life right now? How are you feeling about your life? What are you eating, drinking? How are you sleeping? What is your work relationship like? Your home relationship like? Your family, friends, personal relationships like? These are all environments that are going to affect this cellular structure, including, I think I've covered it all, but possibly not. So there's my diatribe, another one, I'm afraid. But I'll get the permission for this, and I will put it on my website. It talks about what foods you can eat. Lemons are amazing, and that's another thing that's just come out recently about grating a lemon and putting the lemon rind, and it's very good for cancer stuff. So let's just try and just say, okay, doctor, fine, I'll take that medication, but just look for other answers, because they are not the be-all and end-all in the way of answering all the medical problems, that the symptoms that we have that are deemed as medical problems. They have their place, but they're definitely not the answer for everything. And I actually wrote another bit just recently about a doctor that I wanted to interview. She's new from Scotland in town. And I asked her what her understanding of epigenetics was. And she said to me, oh, that's something quite new. It was discovered in the 1970s. Dr. Bruce Lipton was one of the stem cell research scientists at the time when it became obvious as to how cells behaved according to the environment that was placed around them. In 1992, a paper was published on this. And where are we now? 2014, and there's a doctor still telling me that epigenetics is something, it's just new. Epi, above, genetics, behavior of gene. What is above or surrounding the cell affects the cell, affects the gene, and it produces the protein in response to whatever the signals are. So, So okay, I've got heaps of other stuff, but look at me, I'm 15 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna get off now. I may post this or I may not, depending how bleh it sounds. I wish you all the best. I wish you well, and I'm just gonna keep on keeping on, and no matter how much flack I get, sorry guys, got to get the truth out some way, and if I can do it, so can you. Be well, stay well. Oh yeah, think well, be well, stay well. Or something like that anyway. Lots of love. Bye.